far as I can tell, there are two moments from a combat deployment that every modern Minuteman would do well to remember if you've experienced it and to learn from if you haven't. The first one is just that. It's the firsts. It's the first plane ride going into the box. It's going out to your fob. It's the first time the sirens ring out and you're having to hunker in your bunker. It's the first time you go on a convoy and you leave the fob. You're no longer a fobbit. It's the first time you go on a patrol. It's the first time you kick in a door. It's your first firefight. Every single one of these firsts brings in a little bit different of a pucker factor, if you will. You're going into something and you're not sure what it is exactly that you're going to encounter. You're not sure of anything other than the only thing that you can do is trust in yourself, the training that has led you to this moment, and to trust in the people to your left and to your right. Everything else is outside of your control. And it would not go well for you if you lingered on those moments or on those other factors, those variables, for too long. Love to hear any thoughts that you have if you've experienced any of those firsts down in the comments below. The second consideration that every modern Minuteman needs to remember from these combat deployments is not the first, it's the last. It's the last patrol that you're going on. It's the last convoy that you're taking out on. It's the last plane ride. It is the last of all of those things that you experienced the first time. And the reason is because they are just as deadly, if not deadlier, than the first. Because your mindset has been impacted by the first ones of all those things that we discussed and by all of the subsequent encounters. You become overconfident. Your ego is overinflated. You become complacent and lackadaisical. Your head is no longer on a swivel. You're taking things for granted. You're moving through and you've lost your situational awareness. Both of these moments are the two deadliest times in any warrior's experience. Dealing with the first and dealing with the last. Maybe you know somebody who became complacent towards the end of a deployment or towards the end of an experience like this. How many stories have you heard of people who are going out for the last time? Maybe it was something that they were volunteering for and they're trying to stand up and do the right thing and help out. Maybe they were voluntold for it. And days before, hours before, weeks before getting on that freedom bird and going back home, they ended up in a situation that was outside of their control, maybe even KIA. So what can we learn from these things? The first thing I think we need to learn and to bear in mind is that you need to train. You need to rehearse. You need to become students of all things when it comes to combat. You have to train your mind just as much as your body and your skills. Skills are easy to use. You can go to ranges, you can come out here to the woods and go through your battle drills that you want to rehearse. But you need to train your mind. It needs to be sharp. You need to master your craft. The way to do that is to get out and to train with yourself, with your team, with your family. And you need to change variables as much as you can. Do things during daylight. Do things with limited visibility. Do things with when you're tired. Make yourself tired. You need to train with more weight than what you're planning on. You need to train with no kit. Change all of these variables. Change the locations and the times. Anything that you can control, you need to exercise that control and change all of these variables that you have. And keep continuing to run through them. And then when you're done with each iteration, you need to go in and conduct an honest-to-God after-action review. And from that, you should change a couple things. One, it could be the kit that you're in, the kit that you're wearing, specific tools that you have, stuff that you had that you didn't need, and things that you didn't have that would have made the job easier, and then go out and do it again. Continue to refine your systems and your processes. Because as you're doing this, you're ingraining things into your mindset, you're ingraining things into what some people would refer to as muscle memory. And you're becoming more and more lethal. But in that lethality that we are building, we need to understand that we cannot become overinflated in our perception of our skills, our competencies, and our attributes. We can't become over-reliant on ourselves, on our kit, on technology, or the lack thereof. You need to remain humble, because there's always Murphy out there, right? And if you become too sure of yourself, you're going to lose that situational awareness that you need. And you're going to end up a fatality, potentially in a conflict or in an engagement that you weren't even prepared for. These two moments, team, I'm telling you, they're ass kickers. These two mentalities are absolutely critical to get right. We have to do better. So I'm going to spend some time out here, and I'm going to start working through some of my own rehearsals, change some things up, see what happens. Team, I'm looking forward to your thoughts and your comments down below as we continue to master our craft and develop our tactical virtue. You stay out there, you keep grinding, and you stay stoked. Team, if you want to master your craft and develop your tactical virtue, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell so that you can stay up to date on future content. Consider becoming a channel member. It's going to give you exclusive access to content not available to to anybody else. I appreciate you guys. Until then, you stay out there, you keep grinding, and you stay stoked. Team, if you want to master your craft and develop your tactical virtue, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell so that you can stay up to date on future content. Consider becoming a channel member. It's going to give you exclusive access to content not available to anybody else. I appreciate you guys. Until then, you stay out there, you keep grinding, and you stay stoked.